The throne room was silent as I stood before Thunderstrike. The air was heavy with anticipation. The sword, still sheathed in its ornate casing, I gripped the handle tightly, and pulled. But the sword was still stuck in its sheath. I tried to pull it out again, but it still didn't budge. Sir Roderick appeared at the far end of the throne room. As he walked, the broken bones that he had endured fluxed and fixed themselves. Scars disappeared, and he stared at me, his gaze never leaving me. "Thunderstrike won't help you, no." He spoke. "No girl has ever wielded Thunderstrike, no one and nothing here to help you now." I turned to face Sir Roderick, determination etched on my face. "I don't need Thunderstrike to defeat you," I declared, my voice echoing through the throne room. "The power of my ancestors flows through me, and I will reclaim this kingdom." Roderick laughed, a cold, mocking sound. "Bold words for a child. But you are alone and outmatched." I felt a surge of energy within me, fueled by Alara's sacrifice and the hope of my people. I raised my hands, channeling the magic that Alara had helped me awaken over the years. A shimmering aura surrounded me, filling the room with a soft, golden light. "I am not alone," I said, my voice steady. "I carry the legacy of my family and the strength of those who believe in me." With a swift motion, I unleashed a wave of energy at Sir Roderick. He countered with dark tendrils of magic, but my light cut through them, pushing him back. The clash of our powers sent shockwaves through the throne room, rattling the very foundations of the palace. Roderick's eyes narrowed with fury as he intensified his attacks. Shadows swirled around him, forming a vortex of darkness that threatened to engulf me. I focused, drawing upon every ounce of magic within me, and countered with a beam of pure, radiant light. Our powers collided in a blinding explosion of energy, and for a moment, it felt as though the entire world had been reduced to that singular point of conflict. But slowly, my light began to overpower Roderick's darkness. Inch by inch, I pushed him back, the force of my will driving him to his knees. "You cannot win," Roderick spat, his voice filled with desperation. "I am the true power of this kingdom." Behind me a door opened, and Marcus came out along with 20 other men. They all looked at me and then at Roderick. "Sorry we're late, Isabel," Marcus said. "Glad you're back on our side." "Well, isn't this touching?" Roderick hissed. He snapped his finger and hundreds of guards surrounded him. Marcus and the others formed a protective line behind me, their weapons drawn and ready. "We're here to support you, Isabella," Marcus said firmly, his eyes locked on Sir Roderick. "We'll take care of his guards. You focus on him." I nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude and determination. This was it, the moment we had been preparing for all these years. The rebels charged forward, clashing with Roderick's guards, while I turned my attention back to Sir Roderick. "Your reign ends here," I declared, summoning all the power within me. "For Alara, for my family, and for the kingdom." Sir Roderick snarled, his eyes blazing with fury. "You will regret defying me, child." I put my hands together again to make another energy orb, but then Roderick snapped his fingers. 2 figures appeared. I stopped and the energy ball dissipated. Right in front of me were 2 people that I had not seen in years. Right in front of me was my mom and dad, the king and queen of our kingdom. They looked older since the last time I saw them. My dad's brown beard now was fully gray, my mother's beautiful looks were now that of an older lady's. "Don't get your hopes up," Sir Roderick sneered, "they're still under my control." My dad raised his hands and shot a fireball out at me. I tried to duck, but I was too slow, and the fireball hit the skirts of my dress. I quickly patted down the flames, my heart aching at the sight of my parents attacking me. The enchantment had twisted them into weapons against their own child. Sir Roderick must have figured out a way to use my dad's powers. Because Dad certainly never used powers before. "Mother, father." I called out, hoping to reach some part of them that might still recognize me. "It's me, Alistair. Please, fight the control." Of course they didn't know me. The last time I saw them was 9 years ago. I was a teenaged boy back then, now I'm a teenaged girl, unrecognizable as their daughter. Besides, they were told that Alistair had died at the hands of a sorcerer in the shape of a little girl. Their faces remained blank, their eyes devoid of recognition as they advanced toward me. I steeled myself, knowing that I had no choice but to defend myself against my own family. Tears welled up in my eyes, but I pushed them aside, focusing on the task at hand. As they attacked, I dodged and parried, using my magic to create barriers and deflect their blows. I couldn't bring myself to strike back with full force, hoping against hope that I could find a way to free them from Roderick's control. The battle around us raged on, Marcus and the rebels fighting valiantly against Roderick's guards. I will not let you control this kingdom, my mother and father, or anyone ever again. I spoke. I grabbed Thunderstrike again by its sheath. This time, fueled by my determination and the memories of my family and friends, the sword slid free with a resonating hum. Thunderstrike's blade glowed with a brilliant blue light, its power coursing through me, amplifying my magic and resolve. Sir Roderick's eyes widened in shock and anger. "Impossible," he hissed. "That sword will never obey you." Ignoring his taunts, I focused on him. I charged him with Thunderstrike in my hand. Roderick prepared a fire bolt, and so did my father. But I deflected it. This was it, the sacrifice that Alara had mentioned in her vision. If I kill Sir Roderick, then he can never turn me back into a man. I am doing this to sacrifice having my old life back. I'll sacrifice being the prince of my kingdom, the next in line to the throne. I'll sacrifice being the son that my parents want. I'm even accepting my fate of being alone and disowned by my family since they probably won't recognize me as a girl. Sir Roderick and Dad both prepared another fireball and hurled it at me. I easily dodged it. I could feel Thunderstrike's powers of perception flowing through me. Thunderstrike is no longer just a sword to me, it's almost like an extension of my body. I got to Sir Roderick, and he quickly blasted me with an energy spell, but most of it seemed to be absorbed by Thunderstrike. I knocked Sir Roderick on the ground and sent up an energy shield around us. No one could get to us, it was just Roderick and me. "Go ahead, little girl, kill me," Roderick said. I stopped. Maybe I had time to get him to undo the spell on my parents and turn me back into a guy, but then, I realized something. Sir Roderick had no intention of undoing anything. His death might be the only way to free my parents and the kingdom from his control. But I will still be stuck as a female forever. My hesitation was met with a sinister smile from him. "You think you can bargain with me," he sneered. "Foolish child, I am the one in control here." I tightened my grip on Thunderstrike, the sword pulsing with energy. "Not for long," I replied. With a swift motion, I drove Thunderstrike into his chest. Sir Roderick's eyes widened in shock, his body convulsing as the power of Thunderstrike surged through him. He let out a final, agonized scream before collapsing to the ground, lifeless. The dark magic that had once bound him to the kingdom dissipated, leaving a sense of calm and relief in its wake. The guards who had been under his control now stood in a daze, their weapons lowered. The enchantment over my parents faded, and they blinked in confusion, slowly coming back to themselves. I looked over at Roderick's body. He now laid in stillness. Then slowly he faded into dust. No more was he to haunt this kingdom again. "Who are you?" my dad asked, interrupting my thoughts. He was looking at Thunderstrike then to me. I looked down at myself. I was still in the body of a girl. Even with Sir Roderick's death, the curse never lifted. Now I will forever be stuck in the body. That was my sacrifice. I traded my life to save everyone else's. I took a deep breath and faced my father, gripping Thunderstrike tightly. "Father, it's me, Alistair. Roderick used the dark magic to transform me into this form. But I promise you, it's really me." My father's eyes widened in disbelief, his gaze shifting from Thunderstrike to my face. He seemed to struggle with the truth, but slowly, recognition began to dawn in his eyes. "Alistair. My son?" Tears welled up in my eyes. "Yes, father. It's me. I've come to save our kingdom and end Sir Roderick's reign." My mother stepped forward, her expression a mixture of confusion and relief. "Alistair. My dear child. I nodded, feeling the weight of the years and the sacrifices we had all endured. I'm here, Mother. And it's over. Roderick is gone. Marcus approached, his face grim but relieved. Your Highness, the battle is won. The palace is secure. I turned to face the rebels, and the guard. They were all bowing in reverence to me and my parents. I blushed a little as I looked them over. Rise. I commanded, today, we reclaim our kingdom. Sir Roderick's tyranny is at an end. We will rebuild, and together, we will bring peace and prosperity back to our land. The crowd erupted in cheers, the sound echoing through the throne room and spilling out into the palace grounds. For the first time in years, there was hope.